Hi, this is Dave Lawrence from the California Type Foundry. Thank you for joining me and welcome to my FontLab 7 video series. We are looking at the Herman's font and showing you how to use the contour tool, which is the white arrow, and how to move nodes using that. Okay, so number one, if the node is smooth, you can move it between the handles. So all you're going to do for that is hold down Option, click it first, hold down Option, and then you can just move in between. Now, I like to have it with the curvature comb, which is this orange thing over here, and that helps me make sure that I get things about smooth. Number two, if the connection is sharp, you can hold down Option and then move between two handles. And this leaves the positioning the same. So I hold down Option and then I click on this and it will move in between each of those. And number three, if the connection is smooth, then if you hold down Option and Command, then you can move it along like this and it's going to keep it optimized as far as curvature goes. So you watch, if I move it around, it's trying to make sure that the combs are as close together as they can possibly be. Number four is very similar to the last one. And this time instead, you are going to hold Option and Shift, and then you use this to slide it. The difference between this and the last option is the other one optimized the curvature to make sure it was smooth. This one optimizes the shape to make sure that the shape is staying the same. See, if I pull it up and I go up here, see, it's not, the shape is still staying about the same. If you have multiple masters and if you have diagonal nodes, you know that it can be sort of a pain and that things can get, you can get kinks in things if you don't have the same proportion of the handles in every master. So this is one way that you can get that. Okay, hold down Shift and Option, then click on the node and you see you can slide it down here. And if I move it down here, see the curvature is still staying pretty good. 5, power nudge and proportional nudge. And actually one of the best ways to see this is with the number 4. So I had mistaken these two for quite some time because I wanted to show you if I take this end here, and this is a common problem with the 4 that has a lot of different handles and things going on. So if I hold down C and then I move this over, see how the top, it gets too thin over there. So that's not working quite right. So for the longest time, I used that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these two and instead use Control and Option, hold those two down and move it over. And you can see that since things are sort of moving proportionally over, the top is a little bit squished. So I'm going to have to move this down using the same basic idea, but it still keeps the basic proportion. So now I'm able to make that change without this getting quite so messed up. So that is proportional nudge, and you do that by holding down Control and Option. If you're going to use power nudge, that's a bit better for things that are a little bit more straightforward. So if I hold down this, I push C and Shift, and then I start moving this over. Notice that these nodes on the left adjust because I'm moving the right over. So if I actually wanted the nodes on the right to adjust, I would have to highlight just about everything else. So I'm going to hold down Option. I'm going to click on everything, and I'm going to move that over. I'm going to hold down C and then power nudge it the other way. And you can see that now the other side is the one that is moving. And why is this one not moving? Probably because it's a smooth node here, and it's the way that these are aligned with power nudge. So power nudge are great for moving big things right or left, and then for these diagonal sort of things, proportional nudge is going to be better for that. Okay, let's talk about handles a little bit now. So if you've been working on a font, you may have had the thing happen where this is not all the way exactly vertical. So how you can tell is one thing, this is a brighter green and where it should be a darker green if it's going to be the right or leftmost node. So there's a couple ways that we can fix this. The first way, hold down Shift and then double click on the handle. Okay, now another way to do it, you can hold down Option and then double click on the handle. and you have to sort of watch my hands closely here, is hold down, click on this first. So first click on the handle. Now start moving it and then hold down Shift, and then that's going to get it lined up just correctly there. Okay, some other great things that Shift can do besides making things align, and this also works for the vertical stuff. If this is off, hold down Shift and you can bring it back down. So if I hold down Shift, now this is a little bit different. If I hold down Shift first and then I click on this, then it's going to make it go in that same, approximately the same angle as close as your grid will allow. 7, more precise moving of nodes. This one is great. It's great for laptops, anything where you have a smaller screen but you want to be very precise. So what you're going to do is hold down Command or Control on PC, and when you move it, it does it. You can move very slight. See, I'm only moving by 1 unit, even though I'm zoomed a fair ways out. That is precise node movement. Okay, let's talk about how to move bigger segments. So obviously I can click on a node and then I can just move it however I want, like this. Now that's a little bit imprecise and it's difficult to get things exactly where you want to. So one way to do it is to nudge moving the keyboard. So what you can do is if you select all of these here, then if I push, I can push right and left arrow, and each of the whole thing is being moved by 1 unit. Okay, if I want it to be moved by more than 1 unit, I'm going to hold down Shift, and that's going to move it by 10 units at a time. If I hold down by Command, that's going to move it by 100 units at a time. Another thing that you can think about doing is holding down C, which is power nudge, whenever you're moving a big segment like that, and it's going to adjust all the nodes around it. And if you do want to move with your mouse, you might want to try holding, so if I start moving this whole thing, you might want to try holding Shift, which is going to try to keep it lined up straight horizontally, or depending on which way you're moving it. If I'm moving up and down, it's going to try to keep it in a straight line there. Okay, so those are some ways to move big segments. Great, so those are the main ways to move using the contour tool. Check out the other videos on the contour tool. Well, at least for me, most of my time is spent correcting, so I actually use the contour tool more than anything, more than the pencil or the rapid pen tool or any of that. So if you need to watch the video again, try some of this on your own stuff and it will help out. Okay, talk to you again soon.